I was born to be a champion, raised in the jungle. All my life, yeah, I had to fight. FNG, let's go live tonight. I was born to be a champion, raised in the jungle. All my life, yeah, I had to fight. FNG, let's go live tonight. You can move on your own. Ouija moves, dancing in the end zone. Crush groove. All we do is get dubs, hate to lose. We can do this all day. No snooze. Don't get it popping if you saying that you popping, dog. Never will I lose to a dude. Just won't happen, y'all. Call a defense, watch flash. What you crying for? Gonna pass a six, better yet, put them up quick. Hear them hating from the side. Twitch watch. I guess you say it's about time. TikTok. FNG, where we at? On top. Other leagues can't win. Flip flop. Born to be a champion. Raised in the jungle.
Nice.
We did it.
That is a way to start a podcast.
Yes,
Wow,
sir. Yes,
FNG
sir.
show.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Daniel Hall, the what is he? The Cardinal owner.
Yes.
That's his song right there. We have our
clean.
own theme song.
Hell yeah.
Hey, mama, I made it. All right. Gentlemen, thank y'all for coming out. We got a guest in here now. First time. Want to introduce yourself?
The Falcons.
All right.
What's going on with y'all?
Yes, sir. That's the Falcons owner, man. Beast. Definitely in the top 5. I don't know. Easily
in the top 5.
Did Tony have you number 2 last week or the last episode?
I'm number 2 still, about to be number 1 this year. Even with trading Julio.
Oh, yes. Hey, you know what? See, he about to mess me up right now, Tony.
Yeah, right?
You got to talk about that.
Track already.
Why did you trade Julio, the best wide receiver in the game?
Because, man, I've been hearing a lot of stuff talking about only reason he's winning because he got Julio Jones. He's not that good without him, this and that and this. Plus, I got a first-round pick in a second round and a fast young receiver because I like speed receivers. So, I mean, he's a star and he's only 24, rookie. So, I feel like that was the best strike while the iron's hot and get some youth in there.
Man, that was I seen that.
Julio 30. Let me just tell you something. 30. Let me tell you something. I don't know if you remember our game in the playoffs, but it's when you started throwing the Julio when I lost control. And literally, when you traded him, I didn't comment at all on the trade because I didn't want to affect where it went. But I was like, dude, I was shutting you down till you started throwing to him, and literally I couldn't stop him. That might be the biggest trade in the NFC right now.
Mm-hmm.
It was that big. I really want to see. I don't know what your schedule looks like, but I really want to see how your team reacts to after the that trade, because that was big.
I feel like we'd be all right. We'd be all right. We'd be all right.
Dude,
I still got our defense intact, so that's all I'm worried about is that defense.
So going a little bit off of script, and you definitely wasn't on the last show. Talk about your playoff run and then making it to the Super Bowl.
Man, the playoff run was, the hardest game I played was against Tony until I started throwing to Julio. Then everything just seemed to come together for me then.
Right.
But other than that, man, it was fun. It was fun. I just got to find a way to beat you.
No. Now, how did you feel about the Tony advancing it and we had to play that head-to-head game?
I feel like it was an honest mistake. I wasn't too mad about it. Even if I'd have lost and bro would have won, I wouldn't have been mad about it. At the end of the day, it's just a game. I mean, but I feel like it'd have been us in the Super Bowl regardless if we'd have played or if we didn't play, which we did play. I feel like it was a mistake, but that's how it was supposed to be anyways.
Yeah, true.
That's good to hear.
That's good. But hey, thanks for being on, man. Please give us your input on the topics we got going on tonight, man. It's good to hear other views, other views on the league and what we can improve and how we can make this league better. So definitely, man, I appreciate you joining.
Just having other owners' input is important too.
Huge.
So we have to take some time, invest some time to come in. But before we leave the prior playoffs, when you played the Cardinals, because you literally traded with the Cardinals, where's that confidence coming from? I know you're 3-0 right now, and you play the Bucks again, and you beat them 45-14 season game 1 of the season. You know, your next game is the Bucks. Where is this confidence coming from? Like, what new do you have on your team outside of the new guy you just got traded that makes you feel confident if you were to meet the Cardinals? Well, you meet them actually week 11.
Yeah, I'm meeting week 11. I'm gonna see Julio again. I got a plan for him, but I just look at the man Dan right here. I feel like he's the only person that can beat me. So I mean, I'm not worried about too much nobody else until I get beat in the playoffs. And other than that, I feel like my team is still solid. And
okay.
My biggest thing was the hearsay that I'm not good without Julio.
Well, who said that?
Hold on,
who said that?
Man, what's bro name? Phillips. Phillips, him. He was talking big head and all. Like,
hey, he talks.
I just want to know who was it that affected? What's his name again?
Stephen Billups.
Oh my wow!
The Jags owner.
The Jags are the reason why you traded him. His mouth made you. Okay. Well, we still got some more game to go, but now I know
it wasn't
where
his mouth
came from.
It wasn't his mouth to trade him. I'm thinking Julio 30. He's not going to get too much better from being 30 years old.
Man, he's Julio.
I understand that, but for me to get a star wide receiver at 24, rookie, 95 speed with a first round pick and a second round pick, I mean, why not make that move?
Hey, why not? You made the Super Bowl.
Shook the league up.
I'm like Bill Belichick, but I showed him a year early instead of a year late.
Therefore.
Dude, that was huge, man. It's another big trade coming through in a minute. I know the committee's working on it right now. Yeah. The Seahawks and the Bills.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's another huge trade. Yep.
Or at least it was submitted.
It's submitted. Yeah, it's not approved yet. So, I'm glad we got him on now. Yeah, that's good stuff. Stephen Billups. Yeah, he's on everything.
He's talking now.
He's got his tentacles and everything.
Yeah, my boy Steve.
What team is he anyways?
He got the Jags.
I can't wait to play. I don't play him until week 17, man.
Yes, sir.
I can't wait.
That's good stuff. All right, here we go. Topic number 1. Started off season 2, Madden 19. Topic number 1, we're going to talk about the first 4 weeks. And I know we had a couple of games that were games of the week. So we'll talk about each game, and then we're going to talk about division leaders. So, Tony, you want to start off?
All right. Refresh my memory. Game of the week on week 1.
I don't know.
Or are we doing game of the week 4 now?
You can start week 1. It don't matter.
No, I'm not aware of what they are. So
okay.
I want to.
I got you. Give me 1 second.
Week 3 should have been all 3 of them teams that somebody put in the group. That should have been all game of the week. That week 3. This is our last past week.
Yeah. Start with week 4 right now, and I'll get you week 1.
Okay, week 4. Let's see. Jets, Giants. We have the Seahawks, Cardinals.
That's gonna be huge.
That should be a good one.
Really big game.
Cardinals got Julio over there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the trade's consummated yet. I mean, it's been approved.
3-0. I sent it. He just got to approve it when he get home.
Yeah. We'll see if it actually goes through in time for the game.
That's a mean trade.
But you got Seahawks at Arizona. Essentially, the Seahawks are 2-1. Cardinals are 3-0. And last year, the Cardinals split with the Seahawks, right? Because that was only one of their losses.
Yes.
They swept me, and I think they swept the Rams. Swept the 49ers, obviously. And they swept the Rams last season. So this is a big NFC West matchup. And you guys hear a beeping sound right now?
Yes, sir.
That right there is, the beeping sound and let, my wife know the food's done.
Okay.
That's a fire alarm. But yeah, I had to put on blast a little bit because I'm a little embarrassed. But
Isaiah just. Oh wait, shut up. Thanks, Isaiah. I'll announce it in a minute.
Definitely.
Go ahead.
And we have the Cardinals essentially are trying to repeat, get into the NFC Championship, and with potentially Julio Jones in this game, I don't know if the trades will get done fast enough for it. That's a big home game for them because with the Seahawks taking that early loss against the Cardinals, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
That was big. I think it was week 1.
Wait, who the Seahawks lost to the Rams?
Oh, they lost to the Rams. Okay.
They lost to the Rams. Yep.
Yeah, that was a big loss.
That was huge,
especially when they swept them last year.
Yeah.
So a big game. Looking forward to watching it. They said they're playing tonight. I would definitely give that a game of the week. The other game of the week.
Wait! Before you go on, who's your pick? Who's going to win that game?
Oh.
That's a tough one.
If Julio is on the Cardinals, that's a bit too much firepower for the Seahawks to deal with.
Why he trade Julio?
Yeah, that is a lot to deal with, especially if you haven't prepped.
Y'all scared?
It ain't about being scared, but
it's a significant trade. I haven't looked at him to see if he dropped off at all during the offseason.
Right, he haven't dropped off.
Right.
That's still, that's a significant trade. So if the trade goes through, if they actually are able to put the trade through before the game, I'll take the Cardinals. But if it's not, I'm gonna be honest with you. The Seahawks are hungrier because that loss in our division in NFC West, one loss is big, especially an NFC West loss. So I think he's going to be hungry to get that win. If Julio's not there, I'll give it to the Seahawks. So depends on if the trade goes through. That'll determine which one I'm rooting for.
I'm gonna go with the Seahawks, man. That loss, he's hurting. He's gonna do everything he can to win that game.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with the underdog.
Jose Young, welcome, my brother.
That's the other commission chiming in. Now, as far as the other, hold on, does anybody else have a pick on that game?
All right, I'm gonna get my pick in. I'm gonna say Cards. I'm gonna say Cards. I'm gonna say 28-17.
28-17.
28-17. If he gets Julio, I don't know, man. 28-17. I'm saying it.
10-4.
10.
Osman, who you picking?
Cardinals also.
Oh, 10-4.
So it's 2-2.
It's pretty much a sweep.
Yeah.
3-1, except for the trade. If the trade doesn't go through, I'm going for the Seahawks 2-2. So, hedging my bets a bit there.
Dang, that's a good one.
What was their record last year when they played against each other?
It was 1-1.
Oh, it was 1-1?
Yeah.
I think the Cards' only other loss was to you, was it? Last season? Was it? Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Yes. Please broadcast that game, fellas.
Yeah.
Please, I need to watch that.
Yep.
So the other game of the week is Vikings at Chicago.
That should be a good one.
Coach in Chicago, and from what I understand, they're 3-0.
Yeah, they doing it.
They're making it happen, doing big things. Vikings have been the consummate professional in the NFC North, but this is his opportunity to show. Can he do what he did over in Texas here?
Well, this will be his first challenge because he ain't really played nobody.
Yeah, well,
week one
this week.
Week 1 was not a good week for me, so I didn't give him a challenge. This will be a challenge for him.
Right. All right.
So I'm looking. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the Vikings. Even the Vikings on the road, I think the Vikings are going to show him who is the king of the North, the black and blue division. So I'm going with the Vikings at the Bears.
All right. Man, my vote is the Bears. Bears at home.
Because
until somebody shut him up, he's the man. So the Vikings, they made it to the playoffs and everything. Great owner, great, stick game, all that stuff. But it's the Bears. It's that owner. Until I see somebody shut him down, Well,
so the win against the Raiders, the Bucks, and the Computer Cowboys impressed you enough this season, or is the winning at the Texans, those wins, or impressed you enough to believe he's going to beat the Vikings with this team?
Yes, sir.
I don't know.
Yes, sir.
Yes to both?
No. With him being the Texans owner, and bringing them skills to the Bears, ain't nothing changed.
Okay. So
Yeah, you got different personnel changes, but yeah, he's still a dog.
10-4.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just want to make sure. What about you, OCI?
I'm gonna go with the Bears, man. He made that acquisition for Miles. Was it Miles Jack? Adding another player to that defense.
Oh, he traded for Miles Jack?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a really big trade.
Who accepted that?
Hey, that guy that got you to make that trade.
Yeah. I think with that acquisition on defense and him already being hyped, being the Bears owner, he gonna bring the heat to the Vikes. If he can stop that running game that Kyle has, I think Isaiah's got that game.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. All right. Is that it for that week 4?
Yeah, that's week 4.
All right, so Joseyan, week 1, you had game of the week against the Bears.
Man, that was a terrible game of the week.
Yeah, basketball practice.
Wait a minute. I got y'all. Oh, he did it.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, week 1, man. I was looking forward to that game, and the turnovers killed me, man. I think I didn't practice enough with the new squad. You know, I got some speedy receivers, and I'm not used to it, so I got to adjust for their speed and breaking on their routes and stuff. So, I mean, the last 2 games I improved. I had a heck of a game. Was it last week against Ty?
Yeah.
I think I was 100% in my completions. I didn't miss I was no incomplete passes the whole 4 quarters. So
man,
that's the first time I've ever done that. So I'm hoping I can I'm on a bye week, so that kind of sucks because as I'm getting things going now, I'm having to shut it down and wait. So we'll see come week 5 if I can pick it back up and keep going. But week 1 was a disaster, man. That was just one of those, I had the butterflies and it just didn't work out well for me. And Isaiah took advantage of that, and I think Mac had like 5 sacks. I was trying to avoid. I was like, man, I hope Mac don't get no sacks, and he blew up that game. I was like, damn it, but so.
Oh man,
you threw 3 picks in that game.
Yeah,
and I don't think Mac had any sacks.
No, Mac had sacks, man.
Oh, hold on. You know what? No,
he had 5 sacks.
I'm sorry. I only had the Raiders stats up. Mac had 5 sacks himself.
Oh, believe me, I know. I looked at them stats thoroughly after the game. I was like, dang it.
Oh, man. Wow. Yeah. That was the first one. The first game of the week. Second week was Browns versus Chiefs. And it was also Seahawks versus the Rams, which that was a heck of a game.
That game was pretty good.
Yeah. That was Seahawks losing that game 26-24.
Yeah, that was probably the surprise game of all the games that week. People were not expecting. Well, based off the last season, people were expecting the Seahawks to win that game.
Right.
Kind of warned everybody with that new rookie that they drafted. The Rams owner is going to be a damn dangerous player.
Well, he even made that move. Didn't he trade one of his receivers? He let him go because he picked up that rookie.
Rashawn Woods.
Yeah.
So he had a really good day. Goff he went 17 for 28 for 359 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. 60% passing. 113.6 passer rating. I mean, he had an excellent game. Axel Foley, y'all kill me with these name changes, yo.
Right.
Axel Foley, who was on the trade block this offseason, formerly known as Russell Wilson, he went 14 for 24 for 214 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 80.9 quarterback rating. So he did not have a good day passing.
Hey, he still got him to trade though. He's on that trade right now.
Yeah, he's trying to get rid of him. He's doing everything in his power to get rid of him because he don't want to pay him.
Dang.
He had a great day rushing the ball though. He had 108 yards rushing. Seahawks. But I'm thinking it was the passing of the Rams that kind of just took over that game. The 2 picks plus the they only really, it wasn't like it was a blowout. It was 26-24, but it was a surprise win when everyone was expecting the Seahawks to continue. They were essentially a top 5 team in the NFC West last year. I mean the NFC last year. So that was a surprise, them losing that early to the Rams.
Right. Hey, that's good stuff, man. I love it.
What about your game against the Chiefs? How was that? Because it looked like you ran away with that nice and early.
Yeah, I did. I'm not talking trash. I'm pleading. No, but yeah, it was
19-42. That's what it was. 19-42.
Yeah,
but I think he had a lot of turnovers, which hurt too.
Yeah, he had 2 interceptions that game. Let me see any fumbles. I had the fumbles.
Didn't you score on one of those picks?
Yeah, I think I probably got a pick 6 or something like
that. That hurt.
I want to shoot.
Yep. I got you. Yep. Yeah, so it was cool. I dominated that game. And but I think the reason why we named that game of the week, because I think he talked to you, said he's definitely gonna make a playoff run.
Yeah.
So yeah,
he wanted to get up on the wall of champions.
Yeah.
He was so surprised that with the 49ers making the playoffs, we made it up there.
Yep.
So he said, all I have to do is just win. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna make a run, and then he ran into one of the guys that was up there on the wall.
Right.
I ran up.
I'll tell you what. He that new owner that just came in too, Josh. He made a statement. He beat him, and then he said, "Welcome to my division."
Oh.
I'm like, wow.
How you get on that wall? Am I on that wall?
Oh, you on the wall? Man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you on the wall? Yeah, you up there already?
You were in the Super Bowl.
As a matter of fact,
yeah. Here
you're on the wall with the guy you just traded.
Here. Oh, that's the old one. I got fixed there. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I gotta get that off.
He's got we're gonna have to change it though, man, because what's his name? Not a Falcon anymore. Julio Jones is a Cardinal now.
Man, yeah.
He's a Cardinal.
Trading the best wide receiver in the league, man.
Well, Kamara hasn't heard him yet. We'll see.
All right, get younger. You gotta get younger at some time.
That's true.
All right. Let me just backtrack real quick. I started late, guys. I'm sorry. The live feed on YouTube. Thanks, Isaiah, for letting me know about week 1. I forgot about it. Let's see. Tony brought up, what was the Bears record 2 seasons ago? He said he went 14-2, then 7-9. Then last season he was 15-1, and now he's 3-0. So Tony was bringing up that the Falcons has a history in this league. He's a winner, So why are we putting the Bears above him? I'm just saying as of right now. I'm not saying the Falcons are terrible at all. I think I played them one time, and I won my first Super Bowl off the Vikings. But what I see with the Bears, I think the Bears bring something nasty to the table.
Bears above who? I don't think
above the Vikings.
Oh, you backtracking?
Oh,
yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry, I'm backtracking because they putting comments on here on YouTube, and I'm just now seeing it. I'm sorry.
You know what? Last Madden last season was last Madden last season. This season.
Right.
I just wanted him to explain why he felt he was going to win that game because again, Kyle could lose that game and still win the division. He picked them. I just want to know what his rationale was for picking them.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, it's any given Sunday. Anybody can win. I was just curious. That's all.
All right. And Stephen Billups said, "Winner is here," whatever that's supposed to mean.
You already know. He's already affecting the NFC, and he's not even in an NFC.
Right. Yeah.
Actually, both ways because he traded with the Bears, and then he got the Falcons to trade their top receiver. So,
yep, exactly.
The 2 teams.
So Isaiah said he's planning on being the new king of the North. All right, y'all silly.
Jon Snow over there.
If that happens, he's gonna keep posting those. What is that? Game of Thrones themes?
Yes.
Winter's coming.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sure is, man. I tell you.
Yes, sir. Hey, fellas, keep putting your comments on here. I'm gonna read them all. Oh, Jesus.
Hey, was Tiger supposed to be on the show too?
Yes, he says he's gonna join late.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So week 3 was Browns versus Ravens. Another game I played against Reggie. Reggie, he was talking a lot of trash. A lot of trash, and I dominated that game from beginning to end. But I still got seen. So it was just one game. I know the second game he's gonna make some adjustments.
Hold on. Yeah. Lamar Jackson had 4 picks. That is, you kind of dominated him a bit. I'm surprised that he has so little rushing yards, and with that type of turnover production, you pretty much shut down this game early.
Yeah. Now he has a key play. He has that play action with Lamar. That's nice, but it's one of those, if you just put a spy on him, it locks that down.
Right.
But he didn't play a good game. Lamar didn't at all. His throws wasn't decent at all that game.
Yeah, I was gonna say he had your defense on the, that red zone defense is what helped you, because he was getting down there, but he turned it over, and it's almost like you knew, you were anticipating. I think on 2 picks you anticipated where he was going, and sure enough, he tried to squeeze that ball in there. You picked it off, and there was one play I think where he picked it off, and like right after that, he went on offense and you picked it right off. I think you scored on one of those.
Yeah,
I think that was when you scored. Yep. So it's like you kind of knew what to expect. So
yes, sir.
It's that familiarity, because you guys keep playing each other too long.
Yeah, right.
They say familiarity breeds contempt, so I guess there is some contempt, because I thought he was gonna really give him a challenge this game, and I was disappointed. I mean, he only won by 13 points or 14 points, but 4 picks. Like you could have turned it on if you weren't worried about injuries.
Right, right.
He's got a good defense, man. I think that's what kind of saved him from Dillard going up big, because that defense, he was holding it. Yeah. He just couldn't put up the points in the red zone.
Yep. All right. Hey, so real quick, just you said division.
Just what I want to do is when we do have these shows, for the people that aren't in the league, so they just know what's going on as far as the standings are concerned. And when they following along, they want to know we're talking about. These people, we don't know what their records are. We don't know, where they are in the standings. So for people who are watching, they want to know who's who and where's where and what's what. So I'm gonna just run it down from the AFC to the NFC. AFC North, Browns at 3-0, Ravens at 2-1, Bengals at 0-2, Steelers at 0-3. No real surprise there. AFC South, we have the Titans 3-0, Jaguars at 3-1, Colts at 1-3, and the Texans at 0-4. I think the Jaguars just recently beat the Texans, so we were wondering what the new owner Texans had. We have the AFC East. The Bills are at 2-1, Dolphins at 1-2, Patriots at 1-2, and the Jets at 1-2. So looks like we won't be getting a wild card out of these guys that keep playing like this.
Watch out for the Dolphins. Watch out for the Dolphins.
Okay, they just joined, right?
Correct.
So they're joined at 1-2, just for posterity. We have the AFC West, Chargers at 3-1. How many of those games has he played? Matt, I think
he played 2.
2 of them. Okay.
2. Oh no, he might have played 3.
He's 3-1 right now. Raiders 2-1, which is actually not bad so far. I don't know what your schedule look like, but still,
we're got a long way to go, man. Got a long way to go.
Yeah. He had a good game last week. How about that? 2-1 Raiders, 2-1 Chiefs, 1-2. Yeah, get on that wall, looking real tough, ain't it?
Yeah.
And
now that we
got Broncos at 1-2.
Now that we filled up that division, it's gonna be a fight.
Yeah, it's gonna be a real big fight. Fight for the division. In the NFC North, we have the Vikings at 3-0, Bears at 3-0. That's why the game's game of the week, because it's gonna be a really good game. And here's the thing: the Vikings have 112 points for.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, whose background is that?
I think it's
probably Osman.
Osman?
Oh yeah, I'm driving.
Okay.
Yeah, you might want to mute yourself real quick.
Yep. And when you just say something, you just come back in, brother.
We got the Bears at 116 points for, but 63 points against. So they, that game, it looks evenly matched, offensively and defensively. Both the Lions and Packers are 0-3, so, it's going to be tough for those guys.
Yep.
NFC South, got the NFC champion Falcons 3-0. Got the Saints 1-2. Got the Panthers 1-2, which I expected them to perform better at this point in the season. The Panthers they were like one game away from making the playoffs.
They've had some rough games, man. They've been playing some of these top 5 guys, so it ain't been easy.
That's what happens when you almost make the playoffs. You get a much better record. But with that team, he should be able to perform better. And I'm expecting more of him later on, more of Patrick later on in the season. And the Bucs are 0-3.
Okay.
NFC East, we have the Eagles at 2-1. We have the Redskins at 3-1, so they must have played their game. How did the Reds? You know what? No comment. The Redskins, their computer, I think that's 3-1.
Yeah, I've seen some people lose to them.
Yeah,
it could happen.
I'm sorry if I just been flipping over myself, just stunned. But Giants 2-1. They're supposed to be on this podcast. Yep. And the Cowboys are 0-3. I think they're computer led right now.
Right.
And finishing off with the NFC West, we have the Cardinals at 3-0. The Rams at 3-0. Seahawks at 2-1. And we have the 49ers at 0-3. Now, I'm still on my 4-game suspension. So I have one more game to, I guess, be suspended for. And then that's when I actually start playing my games.
Yeah, you're back Wednesday night.
Yeah, right. Wednesday night. That makes sense.
Wednesday night. Yes, sir.
No, not this Wednesday. Next Wednesday?
No, this Wednesday.
This Wednesday. We're on week 4 right now.
We're on week 4.
Oh, okay.
Week 5, week Wednesday. You ready to roll?
You ain't get that on your calendar?
It's all the same. I just got to be who's in front of me.
I thought you were gonna make like a big entry and stuff, big entrance, some splash.
You know what my interest is gonna be? My first win.
Right. Hey, going back real quick, Matt did say he played 3 games. Okay, so he's 3-1. So one of those games, I guess somebody played the computer, lost. So he's 3-0. And
he jumped in after week 1, so that's right.
Yep.
Because that sounds about right.
The Chargers, you say, right?
Correct.
No, Chargers. Yeah, I'm sorry, Chargers.
Patriots beat the computer, and then he beat the Titans. He beat the Jags. Matt beat the Jags 31-21, and he beat the Colts 48.
I think that Jags game. I think they had an issue where, like I did last season with the Dolphins, the jerseys. I think they were wearing similar colored jerseys.
Oh,
and it kind of threw things off.
No, wait, let me cut you off real quick. So Stephen Billa just put in group chat. I think you do come back next week, Tony. So I think your team is on a bye week. So is it correct? Is it 4 games or 4 weeks?
It's 4 games. For us, weeks are games. So because we advance a week. So
I'd love it to be this Wednesday.
So he doesn't come back Wednesday.
I'll come back to that time I had 4 losses pretty much.
All right.
I'll be honest with you. I had a chance to get a win this week because the guy I was playing was on AP and he didn't get off AP to play his game. So it's possible I could have beaten the Saints. I think this past week that we advanced.
Did you look? You're on the
right? He lost.
Oh, okay.
He lost. He has a bye week this week, and then week 5 he's still suspended against the Rams. He comes back week 6.
Yeah. So.
All right.
I'll have 2 NFC.
No wonder you were asking that. It's a good thing we brought this up because you were like, I'm not supposed
to.
Thing,
I asked you it before. To be completely upfront, I already knew it was 4 games, or at least that's what I suspected it was.
Right.
It was you that said you're going to be up after this week. I'm like, hold on, isn't it 4 games? And then, no, you're up this week, and you did the same thing Dill did, and I was like, I'm not fighting it, but I'm just letting you know I haven't served 4 games, and I know usually it's 4 games with us. And I'm not going to play a game unless I get permission from the commissioner or something.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm not trying to get suspended anymore. So
right.
Better safe than sorry. I ain't doing nothing without permission.
Yeah. So no, thanks for Billis. Billis brought it up.
Yeah.
I didn't look at this schedule. So yeah, that's good, man.
Right. Just bringing the thing up about sanctions and whatnot. The Dolphins game. I know Billups pointed out that he went over the 50 points.
Yep.
But I did talk to Brandon. Did let me know, but in his defense, normally when we invite new members, we usually tag them and say, "Hey, read the Constitution and tell us you agree." No, I didn't. I don't think we tagged Josh.
I didn't do it. He didn't do it.
Yeah,
Yep.
nobody did it. So he wasn't tagged to read the Constitution and say he agreed. So he's gonna get a warning. Typically, we would give him a 3-game suspension, but because he's new and we didn't kind of go along with our process, he's gonna get a warning. Yeah. Going forward, if he does it, he'll receive a sanction, and it may be more than 3 games because now that he knows the rules. And same thing, I think, with Matt. Matt I think he made a post saying that he had read it, and I think I had tagged him 2 weeks ago on that. He never responded till today until I think he saw the Dolphins. So hopefully Josh and Brandon will go on there, read through the stuff, and then post they agree. And then moving forward, if any mistakes are made, we'll apply sanctions at that point. But I just wanted to.
We know you just say yes. We know you don't read it, but we will hold you to the rules that you didn't just read. I'm just like
right. No, that's good stuff. Actually, Brandon hit me up though. He did hit me up today and was like, "Hey, where's the rules?" Yeah, I think I probably broke one. Yeah, so
I figured because he hit me up right away and said, "Man, I apologize." And then I responded back and said, "Hey, did you read the rules?" And he's like, "Well, nobody." I'm like, "Well, dang, me and Dillard both dropped the ball in that one because ain't nobody tell him nothing."
Yeah.
So,
it's our responsibility to at least put the new members in the position to succeed. So that's on our. And I told Jose, I said I don't feel comfortable penalizing somebody who potentially didn't know there was. If there's no speed limits posted, I'm not going to penalize. I'd rather give you a warning, and then you got plenty more opportunities. Yeah. If you're here for 15 years, you got plenty more warnings to opportunities.
Now going forward, there's no excuses. And on top of that, he lost the game too. So I mean,
that's penalty enough.
So that's
what's up, new owner. Talking about you want all that smoke.
So yeah, I think that game was like 58-56. So yeah. So.
All right. Let's keep it moving. To topic number 2/2A. Power rankings, top 5, first 4 weeks. I know we haven't finished week 4 yet. Got some games played maybe, but what y'all think? Power rankings. What has changed?
I'll tell you what, the Titans has changed. It ain't the Jags division. It ain't that Jags division. Titans about to be 4-0.
Hey, Tone, man. Tone is that was a big win. Tone played the Chargers, right?
Yeah, he did beat the Chargers.
So
has he beaten the owner?
He beat the owner, yes.
Yeah, he beat the owner.
He beat Matt. Yeah, he beat Matt.
He beat the new guy.
Yeah.
So Tone said he's been working in the lab. Working on some new plays. Oh, snap. Hey.
He said what did he say? He said he played 100 ranked games or something like that. He was online games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sound like he ready for that smoke.
Mm-hmm. He want all that smoke. Let's see.
He's leading the division right now.
Yeah.
And if he wins with this next one, he'll be 2 games up on 1 game up on the Jags.
Yep. So Billups, what's up, man? That was your division. Titans, taking over. What's up? They saying anything?
They're probably saying the season is not 3 games long. That's probably what he's saying. If he's not saying it, I'm saying it for him. But
all right.
You better do something in the division, son, because we got a newcomer just came in division.
Yes,
here I am.
Right.
Yeah, and I think and then Matt beat the Jags, right?
For the Cardinals.
Let's see.
Was it Matt? Didn't the Chargers beat the Jags just recently?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Or did he?
I think so.
I'm gonna pull the Chargers up
on the dealer.
I believe he did.
Chargers beat the Jaguars week 3, 31-21.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what Steve's talking about. Matt said that the Titans is a decent owner, decent player, so he, give him respect. I guess the game went into overtime. Yeah, I remember. It went to overtime.
Yeah.
So, hey, good stuff, Tony. Yeah, I went back and watched some shows y'all did in January, and Tony was like in the top 5, and Tony was rolling.
Yeah.
So he took a back seat for a little bit. He's sitting in the front seat right now.
Yeah, the key with him The key with him is consistent throughout the season.
Yep.
He gets hot early, and I mean he gets red hot early too, kind of like a new pitcher or a new quarterback. But the key is getting hot, staying consistent, getting through the injuries, because there's always that, and then seeding in the playoffs because sometimes it's matchups.
Yep.
I don't know who he has on his schedule, but who he plays is going to determine that as well.
Well, the playoffs is what's going to be the picture because you got a lot of new guys that are going to change the AFC dynamic big time.
Exactly. That's exactly it. So,
all right. Yes, sir.
It's looking pretty similar to top 5 though right now. I mean, you got the Browns, Cardinals, Vikings, Falcons, Rams, Titans, Bears. They're all undefeated. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Those are all the guys that if you combine all of this, those are all the teams. Rams are the only team that look weird up in there, and I've been the only one.
It looks weird.
They weren't even in the playoffs last year, and they're 3-0 right now, and they beat a playoff team last year.
Yeah,
so I keep telling everybody the Rams are making noise.
We have to schedule our game. I play him week 4, so he's my next game.
Yeah, that.
Huh?
You act like you didn't want that to be a week game.
So you play the Rams this week then?
Yes, sir.
And that wasn't a game of the week?
He didn't want it to. I remember when we were talking about it. He was like, "Oh no, it's the Bears," and I'm telling you.
That's 3. Even if it's not a game of the week, that's one that should be broadcast. That's still two. That's 2 undefeated teams right there.
Yeah.
Who did we say was game of the week?
You said it was the
Cardinals.
Bears and Vikes, Cards and Seahawks, and it should be the Browns and Rams.
Yeah.
And I know you've been game of the week each week, but I mean, hey, you got them games, man.
And the people you're playing got good records, and
correct.
To me, this could be your first loss. You've had good success against him, but this could be your first loss.
What you talking about, Willis?
It ain't like you playing the Raiders, man. If it was week 4, Browns and Raiders, that's not a game of the week.
All right. Yeah, y'all did put it in there. All right, so we could do multiple game of the weeks. I know we did. I think week 2 we had 2.
We can. I mean, those are big games, man. Those are games that people want to see.
So, but here's the thing. I told you I was gonna broadcast every one of my games anyway. So it's gonna be broadcast anyway.
Okay.
And I'll put it up. Game of the week. Yeah, I don't know why I forgot that fast that I was playing. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be good. I gotta see that fast, 110 speed wide receiver.
Well, I mean, think about it. You got 6 teams that are 3 are gonna end up undefeated, 3 are going to end up with their first loss.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, that's big.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, yeah. All right, cool. All right. I'll make sure it's broadcast and make sure everybody know. So, power rankings. The only thing that looks weird, you said, was having the Rams up there. That's funny you say it looks weird. But
being undefeated helps, though.
Yep.
That's how you jump up in there and make noise. The same thing with the Bears. Bears are, they were on your list. Bears are undefeated. It's hard to, I can't ignore you if you're winning.
Yep.
We're even talking about the Chargers, and technically he's undefeated as all the games he's actually played. His team's not, but he is. So he's even getting talked. That's how you get talked. You get talked about when you perform. Like Diaz say, you ball, you get the call.
Yes, it's nice to have some other teams other than the Browns being talked about in the AFC.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You got the Browns, you got the Chargers, you got the Titans, you got some teams, So
yeah. Stephen Billups said top 5: Browns, Bears, Cards, Falcons. He put Falcons number 4. He got Titans number 5.
Woo!
I see you, Tone. You making somebody's top 5, brother.
That's because he's in his division, man. He gotta have somebody to represent.
Hey, Falcons.
Steven be hating on me, bro. Feel me? 4th? Did I not just play the Super Bowl last year?
Yes, sir. Yes, you did.
You're missing something real important. That's why everybody hold on now.
Yeah, I should be number 2.
Hey, in my top 5, I got you number 2. He got the Bears number 2. I can't put the Bears up there because you're still undefeated. You made the Super Bowl. You're definitely number 2.
Yeah,
but
bro, why you don't like me, bro? He
watching.
Bro, why you don't like me? What I do to you, man?
Hey. Oh man, yes sir. Hey, they talking a lot of noise in this live chat too.
That's what it's all about.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Billups said, laughing out loud.
Before we move forward, let's see if we can get this out early. How many teams do we have open right now?
Thank you.
I think we have the Jets, the Colts, and the Redskins. I think those are the three teams because we filled the Chargers, we filled the Dolphins.
Jets, Colts, and Redskins. Okay.
Correct. So we still got some open teams.
Yeah, for people who are interested in watching this, Jets, Colts, and Redskins. And if you get on the Colts now, you'll be getting into a red-hot division.
Yeah, we definitely need some competition.
Yeah.
Oh man, this league is hilarious. I'm sorry. This league is hilarious. All right, fellas, keep it moving. Power rankings done. Stephen Billups, man, I appreciate you. You helped me out big time. Trying to keep this thing rolling. Readying up.
Oh,
he brought that up. He brought it up. Let's talk about it. Make sure everybody went into the settings.
I tell you what,
all 32 users, owners.
Done.
We got brand news. We got good news. Go ahead. I'll let you deliver because I'm just giddy like a little schoolgirl.
It got done, man. It actually got done. I went to Advance yesterday, and I looked at through the app, and I'm like, well, we advanced to the following week, and I looked at everybody was good. Everybody adhered to what we were asking, and the league advanced on its own. I'm surprised nobody noticed it and started trying to schedule games.
Well, I noticed it advanced, but Saturday was really busy for me. Well, actually, the last week or so has been really busy. I've had a lot of extra time on my hands being suspended, but Saturday was really busy for me, and I knew there were people who were trying to schedule the games and people who were complaining that games weren't being played. And I was like, look, if everybody does what we put in the little post, once the games are played, it automatically readies up. And when everybody's ready, it advanced. And it advanced, I want to say it advanced like 6, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, it was early.
It was early. And that's how we get the season moving along. That's how the season moves faster, and you get more games in, you get more seasons in, and you enjoy the league a little bit better.
If y'all gonna make us do more work on these podcasts, if these weeks go by faster, we're gonna have to catch up. Yeah. So
yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah,
we advanced on our own for the first time, so we're set up now.
Yeah, you can give a big thanks to game. Big thanks to Billups for keeping us on track on that, man. He found that option. He was on it.
Hey, he was on it. No, I appreciate that definitely, and to everybody else, don't take it personal. The thing is, you join this league, and this is actually going into something else that Stephen Billups once again just brought up in the live chat. You're part of this league. We talked about this in past episodes. Yep. We advance every Wednesday night, Saturday night. You need to communicate maybe within 24 hours, maybe 48 hours, with other users. You're here to play a game. So one of the issues that Steve just brought up, which I believe is a huge issue, we have a lot of owners that stay on AP for multiple weeks. It should only be one owner right now on AP for 4 weeks, and that's Mr. Tranks.
Right.
Everybody else, I get it. You got an emergency, you can't make it. I get it. Put yourself on AP. But if you're on AP for 3 weeks, come on, man. You're giving people wins. Except the new owner for Dolphins, Brandon, he can't beat the computer. So you might get a dub off of that. I go on AP for Brandon. But come on, guys. Y'all join the league. It's fun to play a user. I hate playing computer. I actually suck. I really got to focus playing them because you don't know what they're going to do. At least with the user, I can see where they're at and I can make some adjustments. Computer, it's 50-50. Anything can happen. So, y'all want to put some input on that? Thanks, Steve.
I know. I've talked to Tranks, and we've monitored the league and we know who's doing what. I think a lot of it is we have some owners that the longevity that they've had. I know, like with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
We had that issue with the Seahawks owner. It wasn't an issue, but the loss of the Seahawks owner, and then he had his home, the fire. So he's had a lot going on. So he's been on AP, and we kind of just haven't really forced him to play because he's got a lot going on in his life. That's one. And there's a couple others. I know the Saints is one that I think he's out of the country.
Yeah, he's in Europe.
Yeah, so his is, kind of his games. He gets them in sometimes. I think we just gotta kind of light a fire under him and get him going. Kind of let him know because I think he's been on AP for the first 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. I think as a matter of fact, Tony's got to play him right now, and it's kind of eating at him because he hasn't gotten a response. So that's one we'll address. And there's others that we know. So I know it's frustrating that you guys don't like. I mean, it's for us too. We'd rather see people playing their games rather than us having to look at the post to see who's dragging their feet to schedule games or what's going on. But there are some instances where we have circumstances where the owners are still in the league due to longevity and due to circumstances. And I think I know I was going to bring it up to Tony to say, hey, what do we want to do going forward? Because we're going into
I'll say this along, to marry with his statements. We know everyone that's on AP, or most of everybody's on AP consistently. Some people outside of suspension, Commander Advance over here, outside of suspension, we know who it is. Like you said with the Cowboys. As far as I'm concerned, I'm gonna just make it plain so there's no question. For the remainder of this Madden, until either Hossein or myself feel that it's time, the Cowboys are going to be that owner's team. He has been in this league probably the longest.
Yeah.
That I know of, and he was not the Cowboys initially, but he's a gigantic Cowboys fan. And the things that have happened in his life in the past 4 Maddens, I'm not going to say 4 seasons or years,
yeah, it's been
4 Maddens. He's still consistently been a part of the trade committee. He's been consistently a good owner. He's been readying up. He's done everything you could possibly ask for an owner. He lost one of his best friends. He passed away, and we're gonna give him if I have to. And that's just a commissioner event. Well, I'll give him this whole Madden if that's how we're in communication with him.
Right.
I'll give him as much time as he needs with what's going on, because it's just he's got a lot going on, and I ain't pressed to fill that team. Cowboys can go in 16, 4 seasons in a row, because that's who he is to me.
Yep.
I'd hate to lose him. He'd have to tell me he's done, and he hasn't done that.
Right.
So just take a break and see where it's at. So when he's ready, he'll tell us, and when he tells us, well, we'll tell you. So, and until we say something, he'll be on AP, but outside of that, we had to go to the only other person I know that's consistently on there is the Saints.
Yeah.
He is currently, 1, he's in the military. 2, he's out of the country.
Right.
So he has to do that sometimes because they have maneuvers, and his situation is going to be kind of iffy. But he is playing some games. It's not like he's been on AP the entire time. So typically, what people will do if you have something in your life, like one, you're in the job now and be doing doubles for the rest of the next 2-3 weeks. I think Ty was in the situation where he was working so much or something that he had to be on AP for him.
He had some personal issues. He had some personal matters to take off, and
so he had to be on AP. He communicated that to us. We were perfectly fine with it because he's been in the league long enough to get that nod. Yep. Now, the Redskins, the owner that was just the Redskins, he's a former owner from back in the day. But honestly, he had a very short leash. He came in, I want to say, close to the end of last season. Started going to AP games this season. He's gone now. And he had something happen in his life significant, but he doesn't have the built-in equity that the other people that we're talking about. So
and then we addressed that one pretty quick too.
You what? I couldn't hear you. What'd you say?
I said we addressed that situation pretty quick because we noticed he wasn't playing games, and I think Tony reached out to him, and then after that he said, "Hey, go ahead and remove from the league."
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think the biggest thing too is just communicate. Now, you don't need to tell us your business. I had some personal business happen last year too, but we're still able to work it out.
Right.
And I'm still able to play my games, whatever. But that's not everybody.
Right.
So you got something personal, just say something. Hey, family emergency. I can't play right now for the next couple of weeks.
I think what we'll do in the future, though, for some of the guys that like Tony and I keep track of, I think what we'll do, we'll try to be a little bit more better in communicating and saying, hey, these teams will be on AP until further notice.
Yep.
That way guys can just play their games. And then with Brian, hopefully we can kind of reach out to him and find out, what's his status and kind of update you guys. And a lot of it, like Trank says, we're tracking. We hate just as much as you guys. We hate seeing teams, CPU-owned teams. We hate guys being on AP. But we know, real life is more important than the game. But we're tracking. I think what we'll do in the future is we'll try to just better communicate, what teams are where. So you guys, the ones who have to play these, I know you guys all hate playing it. The biggest thing is the question is why I'd rather play a human versus an AP. And if there's an owner, why am I, having to play the computer if we got an owner? It's just know that it's just some of these guys have certain circumstances that we're track of, and out of respect for their longevity, like the Cowboys, like Ty, and other circumstances, they'll remain with those teams on AP until further notice. And Tranks and I in the future will just have to better communicate to you guys and say, look, these are the guys that are going to be on AP for whatever length of period. Play the CPU. I know it sucks. You guys don't want to hear that, but we're not quick to throw people out just because they're on AP. I know some other leagues will, if they see guys on AP, they'll just boot them, and then, worst case scenario, that team remains a computer team. So either way, it's the same thing. You're still playing the CPU. So
yeah,
so that's kind of where it's at with those. And believe us, we're tracking, because I've been hitting up Tony every time. I was like, man, we got to fill these teams up because the league is starting to get hyped. The guys are starting to want to play.
Get momentum.
There's a lot of eagerness, a lot of excitement, and a lot of trash talking, good trash talking, nothing disrespectful. So it's exciting for us to see you guys get excited, and we really want to get the league full. So I mean, heck, you saw me every time I post, new openings. I'm constantly trying to see if we can get guys filled, because season 2, it seemed like we're getting it moving. Let's get some guys in here. Let's get some games played.
Yes, sir.
So, but in the future for that AP issue, I think Tony and I will better communicate to you guys without having to put out people's business.
Right.
These guys are on AP. This is, until further notice. And then like Tony said, until we hear from the owners and Bat's situation, if he says, hey, I'm done, it'll be a big hit to the league because he's been around for so long. But until we hear from him and he confirms it, then he'll be on AP. So, and I don't think there's any other teams in AFC that we're having issues with on AP.
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah. So I think those are the main two, are the Cowboys and the Saints right now. Correct. So,
but we appreciate the question and the topic being brought up, because like I said, when I was talking to, I think it was the new Dolphins owner, questions are never bad. You know what I mean?
Correct.
The only dumb question is the one that's not asked. You don't know, you won't know unless you ask. So we're happy to talk about anything. There's nothing off limits, especially if it's asked respectfully, and you're trying not to assign blame because you just want to know why this is the way it is.
Right.
Just ask the question. That's the only way you can get the answer. And we'll happily answer it on the page. If you'd rather hear us say it, a little clearer via the podcast, we'll do that as well. But don't hesitate to ask a question on something you're not clear on, because that's where you get answers.
Yep.
That's the question.
All right, fellas. So I'm trying to get Tiger on right now. He's having
Why you
issues.
want that bastard on? I was about to go on vacation.
All right, dang.
He won the NFC East, and now he's trying to get on, man. We don't need to talk to that bastard.
All right.
Bastard just called me earlier.
Come on, Tiger, get on, man, so we could talk, man, because he's talking trash. All right. He's silly, man. It was something I was about to say. Dang it. Now I just start doing that.
We have another topic that we're touching on.
Something in between that I was going to talk about before this next topic. But if I remember, yes, I'm sorry. To those that just joined, I know at the very beginning, we now have an intro song for the podcast. So please, once the show's over, check it out. It's Daniel Hall, the Cardinals owner. It's his song that he made, probably about 1 minute and 6 seconds long, but it's hot. It's fire. So it's our first FNG. Go ahead.
You posted on the page, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
Yeah,
yes, we did.
It's impressive too. Not a lot of stuff I like, I like a little bit of everything, but it was impressive. We got the sound levels the way we wanted, and I'm proud of the NFC West champ, the work that he did on the FNG podcast. It's that whole family. You know, we all get together to make this league better because it's our league. It's not my league. It's not your league. It's our league. So everybody's
Correct.
putting in and adding to it, and it's exciting to see this much electricity coming from more than just the commissioners.
Right.
There are a bunch of people that got their hands and feet in it, and it's exciting.
Right. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Hey, go back, check out the song. It's fire. At the end of the show, we're gonna play it again. It's gonna fade to black. So any second now, Tiger will be on. He finally found the emails in the spam. So
yeah, he's my computer guy.
all right.
So,
yeah. All right, he'll be on.
Got a question about computers. It's gonna be him.
All right. He'll be on next. All right. So next topic is suspensions, sanctions. A lot of you guys send me messages. Dang it, my camera. It makes my camera. All right, give me 1 second. All right, come on, get the head in there. Dang it. Can't edit this too. It's live. All right, there we go. A lot of people hit me up, asking me questions, you know, whether it's trades, you know, when it's gonna be submitted, and I'm not on the mother. Don't laugh, Tone.
Until you get the question out.
Yeah. All right, there we go. So I'm not on a trade committee. I'm not a commissioner or nothing like that.
You sure? Because everybody's hitting you up.
Hey, shut up, Tone. But definitely, I quit. I'm gonna hold this thing, yo.
Hold it, man.
So definitely, it's all close. Definitely, you know, if y'all send me a question, I'll send it back to them.
Yeah. And
ask them a question. So first thing was being on suspension. What does that mean? So one of the questions was, I think it was a trade, this Julio trade. And Tone put in a bid to get that Julio trade too, right?
No.
Was it Julio or somebody else? No. Was it somebody else you was trying to get a trade?
Yeah, but not Julio Jones. No, I'm good
so,
receiver.
So the question...
There was the offensive lineman.
Okay, yeah. All right, it was something like that.
I was trying to get, but I put it in, and, you know, he didn't really respond to me. He responded to somebody else, but, you know, this is how the cookie crumbles.
Right. So the question was, if somebody's on suspension, should they be able to do trades during their suspension? That was the question.
We can address that if that's the direct question. But before I, even enter that, welcome, Roosevelt.
What's going on?
Oh, he's on?
What's going on? Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you just fine.
Yeah, apologize for the time. I have been completely inundated with work at a level that I hadn't seen since the .com days.
You ain't got no job, Tommy.
So I got all types of people hounding me, but I figured I would take it as a viable break for a few moments to reach out and say hello to the fellas.
Yes, sir.
And figured you might want to talk a little bit of football before I have to get back to coding.
Yeah, well, I got a question for you. You are the NFC East champion, correct?
I was last season. This season, I am 2-1.
Yeah. You're essentially behind a computer Redskins at 3-1. So you and the Eagles need to get that together, all right? That's all I got to say about that.
Well, you know, I figured this is the season that always is a coin flip for me because it's a traveling season. This is a season I end up in Italy.
Right. You're about to leave in a couple days.
Yeah, so it's going to be hit or miss. Let's call it that. I had a tough loss. It was a reminder that I need to practice more in open field tackling. One of the Dill brothers, and it was embarrassing, but that's okay. You know, I'll chalk it up to 87 this week, 81 last week, 63.5 and 63. Those are hours I worked the last 4 weeks.
Right.
So I'll chalk it up to I haven't had any lab time to get my open field tackling right. But I'll get that squared away. But but I'm anticipating 2 beatdowns that I'm gonna deliver to the guy who decided he joined our division because he thinks he can get closer to the Giants by being in the division.
Who was that?
That's the
Joe. I want to be New York Giant owner Williams.
Joe Williams.
Oh, Joe. Yes. Oh, Joe, he's calling you out. I love it.
That's right. Well, I gotta call him out. He knows.
He knows.
The first time he opened his mouth, I'm gonna go back to him. First time he opened his mouth asking for the team, I beat him 50-0.
Dang.
So,
Yeah, Joe Williams is a really gigantic Giant fan, and Tiger is a longtime owner, so he was like, "Hey, why don't you play me for the Giants?" He was like, "I ain't gonna give you the Giants even if we win or lose, but we could play for him." And he played them, and I was surprised at how well he did. I'll put it that way.
So two things I'll say about that. He's played better since, and he's never asked for the Giants since. So I will say that he learned from his mistakes, unlike Mr. Tranks, who can't figure out how not to hit buttons.
Right.
So,
well, looking at your schedule, Mr. Tiger Roar, you have the Jets, Bears, and Eagles with a bye week right before you play the Eagles. So you will be playing the current Bears owner and the former Bears owner in your next 3 games. So this week 5 should be pretty interesting for you because that's a good owner. He's 3-0 right now. He's in some people's top 5 so far. And I really think that a win week 5 against the Bears will go to you establishing that being your division.
Oh, it's already my division. If I let other people borrow for a little while, it's only because I let them borrow it. It's my division.
Ooh-wee. I like it. I like that talk. I like it.
I mean, even when Bat decides he wants to rejoin and get back to a part of the country that doesn't, smoke up around you, he knows that it's my division, and I let him borrow it once in a while whenever I'm too busy traveling the world.
Right.
Yeah, right.
I like it. Yes, sir. Yes,
For
sir.
those out there that don't know the history, the Cowboys pretty much have owned that division. And occasionally the Giants are taking it back.
No, let's be clear. We always split. The only reason you think he owned division is because he's been owning you and Wally and coming out the West thinking y'all can trump it. So I let him represent because he's from the West. He makes sure that the NFC West don't really own anything.
The division because he's won the division. That's all I'm saying.
Come on. Train's got a tattoo for Bat on the shoulder.
I'm gonna throw this in there.
This is the second coming of Mark Sanchez. That's what that is.
Since I joined
Thomas, please. Last time Tranks played bad, he was like, "Smack me and call me Susan." Susan.
I'm trying to think. Last time he played
bad, it's the same story. Smack me and call me Susan.
I can't remember that.
And then you call up Wally. Say, "Wally, what happened?" Wally said, "Same thing happened to me."
No, well, I'll say, from what I remember, I think he's had a better record against Flash, the Rams owner, than he has against me.
That's true. He does spank Wally a little bit more than he spanks you.
Hey, I gotta ask, Tiger. I've been in the league, man, and since I've been in the league, I ain't seen you own that division, not even win it.
He just won it.
Well, that's because he's blind. He can't remember anything. That's okay.
That's last year, man. But when you play,
maybe he doesn't even know how to spell own. It's OWN.
Hey. He won that division because he played the CPU, man. And how many times?
Last season?
Yeah. How many CPU games he played?
Less than you, I believe.
No, you played more than I did.
Hey, wait. Was Chaz in that division?
No, not this season.
No.
Actually, I have a funny story about Chaz when he was in the division. It was an undefeated run. I think it was last Super Bowl he won before he bailed out. We had a really good game, and I choked. Had the ball inside the 12-yard line, 1st and 10. Rolled out to the left with that makeshift T-ball I had that season. Well, I think was Landry.
Right.
And rolled out to the left at the 5-yard line and decided I wanted to hand the ball over to him by fumbling at the goal with when I was down. I think it was 2 points. Had a chance
fullback in the flat that was wide open,
and fullback, and I went to throw it, and he threw it straight to the defender who was standing at the goal line, not to the guy who was opening the end zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, but I felt good about it because Chaz is top tier, so I felt good about that. When I'm going back to the hosting, like, no, you're not top tier.
Man, you win one time last year.
I just want to say, like, you talking all this smack. You didn't make the playoffs last season. I think I beat somebody in your division that beat you. Or like, then I beat the Jags over last season. Yeah, I did. Yeah, so
he's not in my division though, man.
Oh yeah, he took one. He took one of those spots you wanted. Unless you just wanted a better draft pick. I can't tell what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, snap. I love it.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
I love it.
But he will be running into some top tier talent week 5.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. And Hosian, if you want to talk about owning, I'm sure one of these divisions we can get rid of the Redskins and bring you on over, and you can see what it's like every week to have to deal with this.
Oh, you know what? Who's this guy? Yeah. You know what? You know what? I might take you up on that offer, man. I might have to tell Ty, go ahead and take over the Raiders. I'm gonna go over there and shut.
Yeah, well, there's a line of people waiting for you to lead the Raiders. I'm just let you know that.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I figure if you come over to the Redskins, you might be a little bit closer to Mac, At least you'll be on the NFC, Hey, it's real hard to find a good pass rusher.
Man, y'all silly.
Me and Tiger always going at each other, man.
Tiger, man, I appreciate you for joining, dude. I appreciate it, man.
Hey, man, it was good to rap with you guys. If I don't rap with you, I want to wish you all whatever holidays you guys support and celebrate. Enjoy those. Be restful.
Yes, sir.
Be safe.
Yeah.
And I'll try to be as visible as possible as I'm traveling over the next couple weeks. But I'm trying to get my game scheduled and represent, since Jose out there trying to keep track of my record. He should be keeping track of the people blitz on the edge on his team. But like,
officially, you guys have the same record.
We have the same record right now, baby.
I know that's what makes it funny. He talking smack over there. But it isn't about who has the same record week 3. It's about who has the same record in week 17.
Right.
Roger that.
I hear that.
But I mean, definitely, Tiger, man, you are definitely I think Tranks will call it an OG of the league.
Yes.
A great owner, man. I definitely appreciate you. I don't recall playing you much.
No. I'm working my way up there. So.
Okay. All right.
I play. The truth of the matter is, I just play a little bit too much Destiny and these other games in order to really get my Madden game tight.
Yeah.
too many raids.
You know what this is, right? Small violin in the world playing sad song.
I'm sorry, Tranks. There was a period of time when every Madden came out, we could rely on you being in the Super Bowl, but I don't think that's happening in a couple. Now you got some real competition. You talk about computer games. Yeah, I'm just going to send this guy right here because he ain't been talking to me. I'm going to send this guy. Oh, I lose? Let me just send the whole postseason so that I don't got to worry about these people anymore. And then when I lose, it's going to be because I gave up 8 games up in front. That's why I lose. I ain't going to talk about it.
Hey, you need to be on every podcast.
I tell you, as quietly as it's kept, I know Nation sent him a participation award just like he sent you the championship trophy. I know he sent that low and said, look, Tranks was here. You can show it. They probably even got San Francisco red on it. Look at them out there.
You know what? All I'm going to do is make the playoffs and put my bid in for that trophy. Let's see if you do that this season.
Hey. Ooh.
I will say you had a better pick than me, right?
This year, yeah, because you won your division. You're right.
Okay. Just make it out. Okay.
Hold on. No, I didn't. I went further in the playoffs than you did. No, I didn't.
That might be true. That's but I still got a better running back. So
whatever, man. He says he brings that up because he knows in the last Madden 18, where I turned my running back into Saquon Barkley. I really wanted the 49ers to trade up to get Saquon, and of course, his team didn't get the quarterback that they needed. So I'm salty about that.
We got the quarterback we need now. Tim Tebow is back in the league.
Right. With your pick this year.
Hey, Tiger, the live chat, man, they give you some props going at Tranks. And Jose, keep going.
Love it.
That's because truth walks. And that nonsense that he be talking out there. I mean, come on, man.
Well, you know what they say? You gotta. Oh, somebody must have just recently played that game. Let's back out and sing. But
I haven't seen that.
Switching gears back to what we said before, we were rudely interrupted by that.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'll take that as a cue, man. But I really appreciate letting me on here, and I'll ride with you guys soon. Let me get back to this work thing.
Hey, Tiger, I appreciate you, dude. It was short notice, and you jumped right on. I appreciate you, man. Anybody else that's watching, you can do the same thing. You could drop in, say what you want to say, and pop out. You ain't got to show your face.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to do nothing like that. You can do the same thing Tiger did, and
I am literally sitting with a robe, and it's San Francisco colors. That's why I had to mute. If I had come downstairs with my blue robe, I'd have been on, but because it's the red one,
right. Tiger, man, I appreciate you, brother.
All right, fellas, y'all be safe.
Yes, sir. Good luck the rest of the season.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. All right, go ahead, Tone. Oh, there's Hoseyan's face.
I was wondering why I was looking. I was like, man, I don't see myself, and I had the camera off
the whole time.
Yeah.
But
go ahead.
You had asked about operating your team during a suspension.
Yes, sir.
That's kind of what happened when Tiger came in.
Right.
And the way we look at it is, we can do one of two things. We can suspend the owner, or we can suspend the player. Like your quarterback, you run it. Let's say you have a quarterback that throws 15 touchdowns in a game, right?
Right.
You're exploiting the game, or you're just trying to boost stats, that type of thing. We can suspend the player, or we can suspend the owner. And I can't penalize the specific player if it's something the owner did.
Right.
Unless it's an egregious action where you scored 15 touchdowns, scored over 49 points. So obviously, we got to suspend that player, and we're going to suspend the owner. We've done that before, but it doesn't always happen. Usually, it's either the owner did something or the player used the owner using the player, so we suspend the player. But as far as operating and doing things during your suspension, there's only so much we can do to penalize a team before it becomes they're handcuffed. You know what I mean? Right. And the question they had, Hoseyan, was about me trying to negotiate trades during my suspension. And the only thing in this based on the verbiage of the suspension, I got suspended for the games, not necessarily transactions. I can still pick up free agents. I can still make trades. I can still cut players. I can still do my practice. I can still scout rookies.
Right.
So you're still running your team. It's just the games are going to be played by the computer, which competitively takes away your advantage to make the playoffs. And that's one of the main reasons why that, at least my specific sanction was.
Correct.
Want to make it more difficult, not impossible, but more difficult for me to make the playoffs with potentially 4 losses at the beginning of the season.
So yeah, and just to clarify, because I know what the question was trying to tie into is when we suspend people, it doesn't keep you from managing your team. Mm-hmm. So the suspension is basically either majority of the suspensions are you're not gonna be able to play your games. So like in Trent's case, I mean he had more. He couldn't, in the offseason he couldn't do any FA bidding, no free agent bidding, so he missed out on all those possible players that he could have had to help improve his roster. He couldn't during the
a lost a draft pick was supposed to be 2 draft picks.
Correct. He lost 2 draft picks. Right. So I mean the suspension he had, and that goes for everyone. Every time we give someone a suspension, it doesn't mean you can't manage your team. So if there's an opportunity for him to make a trade, because he's still managing his roster, and he says, hey, I can trade this lineman and possibly pick up a player or whatever, fill my needs, because he's still working his roster. So when he comes back week 6, in his case, he's ready to play. Yeah. And he can still practice with the players. So I mean, the serving the suspension doesn't mean you can't manage your team. So him going out and trying to make a trade doesn't prevent him from. I mean, the suspension doesn't prevent anyone from doing that. Now, we don't. I mean, I don't think we'll probably ever come up with one that says, "Hey, you can't do anything." Period. Because we still want you to, like he mentioned, when the preseason, you still want to make your cuts. We still want to make sure the CPU ain't making moves for you that you don't want to happen. Possibly mess up the team. So, I mean, managing your team is not off limits just because you're on suspension. All it means is you either, like he mentioned, if you got a player suspended, you can't play with them.
They got to
for
bench
however
him.
many weeks. Yep. Or if you get a suspension, you've missed so many games, you're not playing that game. It still hurts, but it doesn't mean you can't go in and practice, get your guys that practice in that you need to get the points for whatever players you're trying to work. It doesn't mean you can't negotiate trades. It doesn't mean you can't do any of that. You know, the suspension just means you're on a 4-game suspension. You can't play until you're available or your player can't play. So good question, though. I mean, a really good question, but none of our suspensions, if you look at the past, we've never, and even in the post you put on there, you know, you're suspended for these games. You can manage your team, do what you need to do, but just make sure you're on AP for your opponent to play.
Yep.
The exception to that is, sorry about that. The exception to that is if the penalty is based on you doing a trade violation.
Correct.
Like if you do a trade with a computer, you're not supposed to do it, or you do a trade with a person you're not supposed to, then obviously the sanction might have a trade involved in that. It might not be a game suspension. Just
I see
so
I see Dillon with that smirk. He's like,
No, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
Didn't that happen to you? You got an accidental trade. You couldn't trade a couple.
Yeah, that was Ken Get Right Jr., aka Justin Smith, aka the Bills owners last year.
Yeah.
He is like, yeah, the trade was approved. I'm like, oh man, cool. I didn't see nothing, but I was like, all right. Accepted it. And then all of a sudden I hear Trank. So you've been suspended. No, it wasn't suspended. I couldn't go to free agency or something like that.
Yeah, you missed out on free agency and trade, and you couldn't do nothing the rest of the season. Yeah.
So Ken Get Right Jr. messed me up and got me in trouble for the first time in this league. So forget Justin. No, I was laughing, Jose Yan, because they said you need to back up. You got a big head. So hey, they've been getting on my head the whole time too. So whatever, forget them.
Man, I think some of y'all need to get on this podcast, talk about big heads.
Yeah, let's see.
And
who was that?
Yeah, get up in the podcast.
That was Tony Tillman.
Yeah, he need to get on the podcast. He started and he disappeared. Where you at?
Yep. Hey, and real quick, just back up. Stephen Billups said when you get off suspension. Let me go back to it because I had it up. Your schedule is ugly, Tony.
Oh yeah.
So your first game is against the Falcons.
Good.
Cardinals.
Julio Jones. Good.
Cardinals. Look, here's the Falcons.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you throwing shots, huh, bro? Oh, shit. He doing shots fired.
Yes, sir. Hey, you play Tony the first week he's back. Yep. Week 6, you play Tony. Yeah, you play Tony to Tranks.
Tony, just stay on there until week 7 before I get that win.
Listen, the 49ers playoff run has to start week 6 because we're 4 games back. I know the Rams going to beat the computer. Can only hope to injure somebody. But our playoff start week 6.
I don't want to be that first person to give you that win, so I don't think it ain't going to happen, bro.
That's true.
I mean, Tony, that's kind of scary. You play the Falcons, who made the Super Bowl. Then you play the Cards.
He beat me in the playoffs.
He beat you in the playoffs. And then you play the Cards, who possibly is really, I say top 3. And then you play the Seahawks. These are division games too.
And those are all teams that made the playoffs.
Hey, wait, and then week 10 he plays the Bears.
Yep.
Tony, you gotta win.
Damn.
Yes.
Oh, you might be 0-18 this year, bro.
No. Here's why I gotta essentially earn the top 5 stats I gave myself. I gotta beat the Falcons, I gotta beat the Cardinals, I gotta beat the Seahawks, and I gotta beat the Bears. Line it up.
Steve Billups said you ain't making the playoffs, brother.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. You better earn that. You better earn your playoff spot.
Who? Oh, Steve?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But these guys are in my division regardless, so I already know what I'm faced with. And seeing the Falcons ain't I've seen him in the playoffs before, so it's what it is.
So I'm trying to find a news feed. I think it's breaking news that Julio Jones trade went through.
Yeah, it went through. I saw that.
Really, man? Dang it.
Yeah, it went through.
All right. That's breaking news.
Why y'all so depressed about it?
I'm not depressed. I'm just tired. I'm shocked. Julio, if he was on my team, he's retiring to Brown.
Yeah, I understand that, but that's not. That's how I know everybody was thinking like, yeah, if he ain't got Julio, he can't win. That's why I traded him.
All right.
We fit the fuck out now. We fit
I like
the
it.
Making that statement.
I like it.
Wait.
I like it. I like it. Who you playing now?
Julio bailed me out. I play the Bucks right now.
Okay.
In a minute.
Yeah. And then all right, and then you play the Vikings after that. And then Tony. All right. I like it.
I play the whole NFC West this year.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, just like us. Yep. So you gotta see all of them. That's good. Ooh, I love it.
All of them.
Yes. I hear that.
Sounds real good.
I love it.
Starting with Tony.
Start with Tony. Look at Tony.
He ain't got no coming out party on me.
Hey Tony, even though you're gonna be 0-4, that's still gonna be game of the week.
Oh, we already know.
That's still gonna be game of the week
from the divisional round.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So,
all right. We're gonna keep it moving, man. That's funny. That's hilarious. Thanks once again, guys. Thanks for chiming in on live chat. You actually are helping me out a lot. I asked, Tony and Hoseyan about topics. You guys are throwing out some great topics we should talk about. So I appreciate y'all. Going into the next one. I know it's one that I've been hitting up Tranks and Tillman and Hoseyan is about trades being submitted and the time limit on a trade. So one of the questions was, how many business days do it take for a trade to be approved?
honestly, man, it all depends on what's initially the post, because there's a certain way that stuff has to be posted. There's certain things that we're looking for out of both owners in the post, and then at that point we submit it. So the initial, I would say if you factor in the initial post, what we're looking for, and then for it to be submitted, it could take a day, maybe two, because you got to factor in, everyone, we all have different schedules and whatnot. So a day or two just for it to get done right initially, then it gets submitted to the committee. When the committee gets it, at that point we kind of evaluate it. They have questions, so it could be another day just doing that.
Well, I tell you, it could be made easier if the trade that was submitted and everybody has their ducks in a row before they step up. Like,
right.
All right, I'll give you a perfect example. This Julio trade that just went through took 2 days, right? There's a trade with the Rams and somebody else went through, it seemed like hours.
Right.
Difference is, you had 2 guys with like maybe one person on their list. There was difficulties in, let's say, the most recent trade that probably sparked most of this conversation.
Right.
With all the names being changed, you have to go verify if those guys are on the captain's list. The
right.
Seahawks captain's list
right.
has been changed without really any notification, no type of hey, I've taken this guy off and this guy off and added this guy. No conversation. That has to be reviewed. There's a whole lot of checks. Like another question I had to do before I would even think about submitting it is, and I'm going to ask you live on TV now, or TV on YouTube now, Dillard, your trade, was that in season or out of season? I have the answer already, but I just want to hear what you say. Your first trade.
The trade you did with the Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. Was that in season or
preseason?
I think it was preseason.
Preseason?
Maybe I think it was preseason. Yeah, it was during the preseason.
If we don't verify that, potentially we're giving the Bills in season 2 trades because he's the one that's trading with the Seahawks.
Right.
These are the things we got to verify, and that can't be done in hours because one, I'm married, grown ass man. I'm not literally with my phone waiting to see. All right, well, any trades? No. All right. Next 30 minutes, any trades? No. I'm Christmas shopping, not working right now, but her wife is filling that time up. And you'll have trades that are submitted without all the information needed. And we said this in prior podcasts. If you give all the information we need as a trade committee, because in case you haven't wondered, I've taken over Thomas's position on the trade committee to make it seamless, because I'm already kind of the winning vote if there's a tie. So I just took his position over temporarily until he figures out what he's doing. So, but All I had to do before was just make sure the guys' captain's lists were correct, and I try to make sure there's cap space in there for it. These checks can't be done unless I'm on the game.
Yeah.
If people put the contract up or people put the trade thing up, and we can see that it'll fit in the cap, that's one less check we have to do. So if we're able to check it all via our phones, it can get done quickly. Some people are just trading draft picks and one player.
Yeah.
So it's an easier trade than somebody playing draft picks plus a player, change names, captain's list change. These are things that we have to verify are legal before we mess around and give the Bills 2 trades during the season. Now it looks like we're not doing our job. I'm not going to rush a trade approval or submission just because somebody's got hot nuts for a trade. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work that way. Because we used to have faster trade approvals because it was less steps. And what would happen is people would be upset. How does trade get through? How does trade get through? Now that we slowed it down so the process can, obviously people are doing the due diligence checking. They're not giving us all the information, and people are not happy with the speed of the process. So I'm happy that they asked that question because I would love it to be just quick, done. But people will submit a trade, and this happened, I think, last season. Not have the cap space, not have the player, or change their mind in the middle of the trade because they got a better offer and have already agreed to the trade.
Yep.
These are
that happened last season, last year.
Kind of run into that the trade process, the way we do it, works out nicely. It stops people from doing this, and that kind of sours people in the league when this stuff happens. It doesn't happen often. We haven't had that problem, but I'm telling you, that's one less thing for me to do. I'd love to step back, but I promise you, this league has been around for a while. It sours the league because some people won't trade with other people. People, when they do a trade, people are pretty much the peanut gallery. Oh, already, obviously, Tranks' best friend who's running the podcast is trading with him now. You know what I mean? These checks and balances make sure it's a balanced and evenly competitive trade market for everyone.
I got a question when you're done.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Hey, why do we only allow one trade in season though?
That's a good question, man. That was gonna be my next topic. You hit a good topic there. We're gonna bring that up too.
Yeah, Stephen Billups just said the same thing too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bring that up.
Good question.
Yeah, it was a good question.
You want me to take that or you got it? You want me to take it?
We think alike. Why you don't like me, bro?
No. Steve asked the same question. That's all he said. Hey, Steve, you might want to join this chat room.
The reason why we limited last time is like what Tranks touched on a little bit. We had a point where we were allowing trades and there wasn't a limit and it got out of control. And then you had a lot of these new guys coming in and the vets, the sharks coming in and saying, hey man, I'll trade you this guy that I molded. He's a superstar, blah, blah, blah. And they're getting picks. And then before you know it, it's the teams are decimated. You got guys because we got 3 new owners just recently. Any one of us could go to them and say, hey man, I want this guy. I'll do this and that. And,
I'll
keep
give
trading.
you a realistic example. All right. I'm famous for taking a 67 overall running back and turning him into a 70, 85 overall running back. Right. That's historically what I've done. People who are new to the league see that happen and like, I want that running back. So I'll trade them and get a first-round draft pick or a second-round draft pick for that. And the first thing that people are saying is, you're taking advantage of a newer guy. You have guys, and this has happened. Like I said, we've been around the block for a while. Guys will tank seasons, and because they're not playing the game or winning the games, they're just trading just for the sake of being able to do something during the season, and it essentially floods the trade timeline. And this is a volunteer position, and I'm mainly talking about the other guy. I'm not even talking about me because I've volunteered enough of my time, so I don't have a problem doing it. But the other guys, they're doing it for free, and honestly, they don't like their time being wasted. We ask you to present the trade in a certain way, and you don't do that, and we have to kind of fish through it and assist you through it. And then when it's rejected, well, why is it rejected? Well, you didn't do what you're supposed to. Well, what did I do? Well, I might as well just do the fucking trade for you then if you're not going to, you know what I mean? You kind of got to read, follow the lead of other people who've done it successfully, and typically you don't have the problem.
Yeah.
But again, I personally don't have a problem with multiple trades. It gets out of hand when people abuse it. Now maybe the population now might need a change, and we can
Right.
vote on that. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with voting on
Yeah,
changes. So I'm
we
all
should
about
vote.
that.
Like,
Yeah. And
I would
I
say
brought that up. And I
the
brought that
max.
up. And Osman, that question you asked about additional trades, I actually brought that up to Tranks
Yeah.
and said, with the group we have now, we limited the trading because in the past, and I mean, if you look at it, that's why we have a captains list. That's
Right.
why we kind of monitor the new guys, because we want to make sure we're keeping the integrity of the league. We don't want guys coming in, trading a bunch of guys, and then bouncing. And before you know it, you got a team that should have had certain players being traded because we just were trading. If we're going to do that, we might as well just have a fantasy draft.
Right.
So
That
we're
captain
just
list
trying to
is
we're just trying to
genius.
keep the teams legit. So when guys come in, if someone steps away from a team, let's say Osman leaves, someone's going to come in. They're expecting Julio to be there.
Yep.
He's gone now. So it's just stuff like that. And we had it to where in the past, top guys that would have normally been captains, guys that are the franchise of the team, they're being traded. Because you can trade Julio Jones, you can get a bunch of draft picks, and that guy could easily take those draft picks, mold the team, make it their way, do what they want, and then they bounce. So we limited the trading because it got out of control. It was just way too many trades being allowed, and we didn't care, but then we started losing people, and then we started the longevity. We didn't have the consistent players, and now we do. We got Dillard, we got Dan, we got guys that have come in.
We
And
got
have
you.
stayed, stuck
You know what I
around.
mean?
Yeah. You guys are stuck. So I did bring that up to Trent and say, look, man, I wonder if we should up the trading because we got a lot of good guys. There's a good core guys now, and you guys are consistently playing your seasons. You're consistently playing your games. You're consistently active. You know what you're doing. So I did bring that up. But in the past, the reason why we didn't because it just got too out of control. But I mean, like always, like Trent said, put it for a vote. Like always, if it's something that everyone feels it's worth doing, then we can talk about it, just like we're doing now. There's nothing wrong with doing it. We just, in the past, it got way out of control. We didn't have a limit, and it was just teams teams are no longer the teams you expected. You take over the Raiders, and those guys that you expected to be there weren't there, and vice versa. I mean, there were teams at that point, people were like, well, we can, I think one season it got so out of control that people were like, we should just start over.
Right.
And I'm like, that's how bad it was.
Right.
People literally traded guys
with
away.
The limits, what the limits do as well, it may seem like it's hamstringing the guys that are invested, like a majority of the league is, we're in a really good position right now. So it may feel like we're hamstringing you because, look, I know I'm not going nowhere, so why should I only be able to trade once with Dillard I want something from Dillard, I want something from Osman, and I want something from Hossein. Those guys are not going to trade and then leave. But what it does is it makes it balanced for the newcomers that are coming in. Because if we set it so that the OGs can do all the trading and the newcomers have all these limits, it's unfair. It's a competitive balance. It's not balanced.
Yeah.
So the limits that are set make it easier for the people who stay, and the people that come in can graduate to being able to trade, easier. Now, as far as the amounts of, like I said, it's something that can and will be debated. I think it should be put up for a vote if people are passionate enough about it. But from what I've seen in the past, votes aren't really participated in because either people are too lazy or they're happy with the way things are. Right. So it's not something that I feel strong enough to emergency change. Like, well, we have to make this change. These trades have to be wide open because that's not an emergency. Everything's fine the way it is. If you want to improve it, if you guys think, Osman, I agree with you. If you think it can be improved, hey, the league wants it. I don't care. I can do more than one trade too. I can make my team better.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, what about like having another committee? And I know you guys got a lot of hats. So, what about having, I know we
did have a committee, and that was the other problem. We had a committee, and then what ended up happening was there was a lot of trash talking because the committee at that point, it became a issue where how do you determine the value of a player? And it got so bad where people were like, well, this guy's a top tier receiver. Why can't I think we had one guy that he gave up all his draft picks he was like, I'll give you my top 4 picks for this one receiver. And then it became a long, drawn-out discussion where everyone's saying, well, and then I think it got approved, and then someone else tried to do a similar trade and said, well, how come the committee, let this trade go through and not this trade?
Yeah. Okay.
And then it became a thing of, well, how do you determine value?
Right.
How do you determine value of picks? How do you determine the value of a player? And so that's why we kind of condensed it to where we are now, where there's not so many hands in the cookie jar. There's not so many. It's not so wide open to allow that to happen. Because believe us, we tried that. I mean, we used to have it where it was like
I'm about
a free
treat
for
men
all.
like men. We've tried that, and everyone is not as consistent as you'd like them to be.
Yeah.
They're only consistent because it's a trade they're trying to do now.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and we had some. I think we have favoritism on that too. People were like, "Oh, this guy's on the trade committee. He's friends with this guy, so he's letting these trades get." It got way out of control, man.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I know you two know me. If I come to y'all, it's not to step on your toes, not like that.
Yeah.
So, so that's why I hate texting. Even at work, I hate emails. I mean, you send an email, and in your head, you're like, "Did he say it like this, or did he say it like?" You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, so I get a lot of messages. Like just right now, I just got one on Xbox Live, or I might get one in a text on my phone, or might get one whatever on Facebook, and they're just asking. It's just valid, and actually, I'm getting educated at the same time because even in today's conversation, I'm like, well, why does it take so long? Because I knew my trade I had with Justin, I thought it took forever. Did it take forever? No, it didn't. But I get with Dan and is that Dan? No, the Seahawks. Yeah, Dorian. Yeah. That trade is huge too for him because that's cap space for him. He's moving.
And it's a game that's going to be affected directly if he gets it in time enough.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's only so much time in the day, too. So trust me, I get it. I used to trade a whole lot, but the juice is not always worth the squeeze.
And I used to bug Tranks like crazy, man. I used to try to get trades done in a day, and then we had issues where people didn't have the cap space. People try to rework the trade. I remember one time somebody just said, "I don't want to do the trade." After he agreed to it. And it was that guy ended up leaving the league because everyone kept bashing him. Like, how you going to make a trade and then back out on that? You are not a man of your word. I mean, it got bad. So we've seen, I'm telling you, we've seen it. We've done it. So.
I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Osman? I pronounce it right?
Mr. Alexander.
Mr. Alexander.
You can call me Oz.
All right, Mr. Oz, I like to tell you right now, your brother Stephen Billups is about to join us any second now.
No, but you pronounce my name Osman.
Osman. Okay, sorry, man. Sorry about that. Okay. Osman. Yes, sir.
No, blame Tony because he was calling me Osman.
Right. Okay, man. They had
I got to do Osman.
Same way, man. They butchered my name for the longest time too.
Like what we call it, Hoshan.
It was bad for a while.
It was terrible.
Yes, sir.
He didn't correct us though.
Right. No, but I mean, Tony. I mean, y'all definitely been educating me. It's a lot of stuff I don't know. I don't claim to know everything. I know the basics, probably a little bit more, but definitely some questions. Like I'll throw to y'all in that group chat and ask you about it, and it's good to
do that though, dude.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I was just talking to what was it, the Dolphins owner. I think it's Josh Norman.
No, that's the
no.
Who was he?
Broncos
owner Josh Norman. He was asking, in my opinion, questions that were good questions, and a couple of people thought maybe he was being disrespectful, and I was like, nah. I mean, you don't know, so we gotta ask, and there's no, like I say, there's no dumb. You gotta ask.
And I was joking with that "come on, man" thing, but I just had to throw it out there.
Yeah,
we're good.
But I don't take it. My job doesn't allow me to take anything personally.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, speaking about that, Tony, real quick. So we talk a lot about, of course, the top 5, maybe even top 10 owners. I want to talk about the owners down at the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually why they're at the bottom until we get Stephen Billups on. Wait a minute. The face is right there. Let's get ready to rumble.
As soon as he starts talking about bottom teams, Stephen come in.
Hey, this bottom team busted your ass the other day, did he?
You know what? I thought we were just scrimmaging.
It was a scrimmage, man. Let's call it what you want to call it. It was good rec, though. I appreciate it, man.
Wait. Time out. Y'all played each other?
Yeah, we did.
And Steve won?
Yeah. He had more points.
Yeah. It was I don't know. It was a little bit. I got the YouTube on my screen, so I gotta turn it off.
No, you can.
So I don't get this backlash.
Oh, you
But
good, man.
It was good rec, though. I won
Yeah.
by a little bit. I think I won by like 31 points or something.
Yeah. I want to say it was like 38-14.
Yeah.
If I was something like that.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I think once it got in the late 20s.
What was the score again?
Like
I'm guessing.
It was about, he about right. It was about 38-14.
Yeah.
Once I got up 21, I had to go pick up my daughters.
Yeah.
So
he started running clock.
Yeah, start running clock.
And
it could have been worse.
Well, here's the thing. I wasn't really playing to win. I was playing to work on some things against a team and an owner I'm not going to really touch. So the way I look at certain games,
it didn't work out.
I wasn't playing him to beat him.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean,
hey,
if I would have won it, I'm not gonna say he didn't win, but scrimmage is a scrimmage. How you can get better if you're looking at the score.
Mm-hmm. My eyes just hurting a little bit. I'm sorry. Yep. I'm messing with you, Tone. Just real quick, Billups.
Yeah.
Tony Tillman, he's claiming your division. Well, he's saying it's his division now. So he said it's been a trade, and you traded the division to him.
Wow.
Okay. I respect that once he beats me.
Woo! That was good.
But outside of that, he one of those owners that's an OG, so I respect it. But I don't care what you did in 1995, bro. I'm so tired of everybody saying I was the winner of this league and this year. Man, if I hear that one more time, I swear. I respect the history, though. Y'all OGs for a reason, man.
All right.
But I was really good in Madden 2000 as well. I'm so, check my record.
Why I love the way Hossein did the new banner. Because to me, it makes it current. You got to win to be on that banner. As Bullock is finding out, it's hard to get on that banner.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can't go on there. I love that. That was I don't know why we didn't think of it before, but it's like you got to earn your way on there, man.
Hey, the league is evolving, man. We're getting better. It's just some new stuff. We got music now. We got the podcast. We got all that. So it's gonna get even better.
I know you said it earlier, but that Dan did his thing on that podcast.
Man.
Yes.
Hey,
that intro.
That was hot. That reminded me of that Ludacris.
Say it. Yep.
Back in the day. I think that was Madden 2000. That's what I thought of when he.
Yes, sir.
Like, okay.
And that was the hottest intro to a game ever. They ain't done it since.
Yeah.
They haven't done that since.
It's been generic since then, but kudos to Dan and his partner that helped him with that. That was
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all hear it again at the end of the podcast. So
okay,
definitely. But
hey, Bullops.
Here we go.
What up, OG Bobby Johnson? I see you. Is that your Tinder photo? You got on there. Blowing kisses like, yeah, baby, 6'2", 210, That's what's up,
though. Hey, you're a funny dude. We can probably hang out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey,
yes, sir.
Why you keep disrespecting my Falcons, though, man?
No, it really ain't no disrespect at all. I do kind of think you was great with Julio. So I'm definitely interested in seeing you play without him, but no disrespect to you on that. When I called the top 5, those are all guys I know I played like multiple times. And I think I played you like once or twice. I can't remember. You might have even got me when I played you. I can't remember. But that was all it was. It was like I could speak to the other guys. Isaiah, I've been playing Isaiah for 20 years. And he truly is like the best. He make adjustments. He's one of the best players I've ever played against. And in years past, I played in like a lot of big tournaments, and he was still somebody that gave me a lot of trouble. Dillard is cold. He's still doing some things. I think he be cheating, but I ain't been able to prove it yet.
Come on, go, man.
But I say that out of respect because
That's no respect. You say somebody cheat, that's cheating.
I don't know how you blitz 12 guys and still have 12 guys in coverage. Like that happens like every game. I'm like, I'm just confused, but you outplay me. You know, so that's hands down. So
do we play this year?
No, I don't think so.
Jags?
But I think I might have played. Yeah, we might play. I don't know. I'm not sure what division.
You the Jags, right? We play
Jags Falcons week 17.
Yeah,
you got it.
At Jacksonville.
You got it.
I'm naming it game of the week.
Let's call it now. Let's go. No holds bars. Make us a rival game. So if you want to put up 85 points on
Lord.
me,
Yes, I love it.
Go ahead and do it. You know.
Dan, that hasn't been talked about in a while. Rivals.
No. Yes.
Let me check my team out when I play tonight, and I'll get back to you.
But no. When I did my top 5, it was no disrespect to anybody who I put in the 5 or the order I put it. It was really just guys I played that I could speak to more than anything. But it's a lot of talented. It's a lot of talented guys. I mean, our top 15 is legit. You know what I mean? So I respect all of that. I wish I played more. To be honest with you, I still only play this game about 3 times a week. Unfortunately, I got one of those divisions that I get some computer games. You know, as Dillard when I highlight, like I'm not the only team that ever play computer games. But,
Right.
You know, but that don't make me better. I can beat the computer in my sleep. So like,
hey, ask my nephew Brandon, can he beat the computer?
But I mean, I would love to be in one of those divisions, and I know Tillman's in the division now. You know, I love playing with Isaiah, but I would love to be in one of those divisions like they got it out there in the West, where you got 3 quality guys you got to play twice in a season. I mean, that does make you better. You know, iron sharpens iron for sure. So that's what I need. I definitely need those exhibition games as well. So
what'd you say?
Those exhibition games, I'll be down to play anybody for real. You know, so if you got the time, like let me know.
No, what I'm saying is the further you get in the playoffs, the better players you play the upcoming season. So just get far in the playoffs and you'll play everybody good.
Message.
Hey, this is true. I mean, I've been in the league for this is my 6th consecutive session. I've had 11 games. I won every season, so I think I beat the teams I'm supposed to beat. Yeah, I come up against guys like Dillard and I lose. So I mean, it is what it is.
Well, speaking of that, Tillman said he beat you last year, season 1, when he made it to the playoffs.
Last year, Tillman, he did beat me in the playoffs.
Yeah,
but I can tell you that our overall record is on my side of his. I beat him twice last year. I beat him when he was with Denver. Then I turned around and beat him when he turned it with the Titans. I played him early this season. I think we did an exhibition. I beat him. So, but he good too. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, quality guys. I mean, just because you win don't mean you necessarily, more dominant.
Yeah,
I just won. I mean, and that's that. I'm confident that I'm not 21 points better than Tranks for sure. But I was playing to win. So
right.
But I mean, it is what it is.
Your daughter. That's what you was doing. Playing to get your kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I was doing it for their honor, man. Like, I'm not, otherwise, we was gonna play again. They was gonna be left at the school, man.
Yeah. Because I definitely wanted to run it back.
Yeah.
I got to go roll. So and there's only so much time when to get these games in anyway. So
for sure.
No, man, y'all silly, man.
I just like running my mouth though. That's all it is.
Yeah,
that's cool, man. That's what we're here for.
It's definitely refreshing, man, to get everybody active the way it is now.
Yeah, but I know, hey Joe, I think we play pretty soon too, don't we? Like in the next game or a couple games pretty soon.
I think we play week 5.
Yeah, it's somewhere soon. I think
week 6.
Week 6. Okay.
I've had y'all spoke into existence, but Fournette been injured all season, so
hallelujah. Forget him. Hey, there's your MVP.
So I mean,
is he out week 6?
I think that's when he's supposed to come back. I think.
Oh
wow!
It's one of those things where he's like out till like week 7. They come back a week early sometimes.
Right.
But I lost him. Get injured for longer.
I lost him. He played. He had a great first half in my game 1, and I benched him. But I still had him listed as a power back. So going into one of my plays in the fourth quarter when I benched him the whole second half, and then he got injured on that play. So
brought him in cold.
So you gotta sub everything. You gotta sub him third down back, power back, all that stuff. So that was my fault. Bad coach.
Oh my! Hold on. I just looked at your injury.
It's
have
ridiculous.
like 1, 2, 3,
It's
4,
ridiculous.
5, 6, 7 guys on the injury. God damn.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they've been real injuries too. Like they've all been out like 6 weeks. You know,
Shit,
so.
they hurt. They mama hurt.
Yep.
He's got 2
Cousin,
more
Nuck,
weeks.
Nuck, Man.
Hold
All
on.
of them.
You got Fournette out for 2 more weeks, shoulder tear. Telvin Smith out for 4 weeks, shoulder tear.
Yeah.
Pharrell is out for 2 more weeks, broken ribs. Nick Bosa out 4 weeks, shoulder tear.
Ain't no MVP coming your direction.
Wow.
Man, these are all starters, all guys that
7 guys
kept my team together. So
I'm surprised he made that trade then with all them injuries. That's pretty impressive.
my cornerback was a free agent after this season. You know, he wanted like $20 million a year. And it was like, do I let him go or do I keep our other guys? So I decided to go ahead and keep him.
Right.
So I had to let a lot of guys go. So that trade was big for salary cap reasons.
Okay.
Then I got me a quality starting offensive lineman for cheap. You know, so that was a kind of a throw-in. But he wasn't gonna be on my team next year anyway, so I had to go ahead and let him go.
Right.
Gotcha.
So it just worked out for me.
Hey, Tillman said, man, y'all got 2 games to play coming soon. He's looking forward to playing you.
Yeah.
He said you definitely one of the favorite owners in the league, and he loves your attitude, man.
Hell
so,
yeah.
That's
talking about you,
man.
Steve.
Tillman,
Yeah.
You schedule
Tillman an
games
OG
to play.
for real.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Dude, so there we go, 2 hours into a podcast. I think it's probably the longest one.
We had a lot of people coming in, man. I think it's the most we've had that many people. We had Osmond, and we had Tiger, now Steven. These, you know,
Yep.
We could talk about this forever.
Yes. Definitely, I think in the future, I do want to talk about owners we don't talk about, and not to throw you out there on blast or nothing like that, but you know, the ones that are down at the bottom, why they're down, you know, down there. I know when I first started in this league in 2015, I didn't even win a division, and I think it was Tim Hewell, he won it.
Right.
I was getting some hard games with Mike Wright. He was going to be on here tonight too.
Right.
He couldn't make it.
That's the Steelers owner.
Steelers owner, yes, sir. But we had some other owners in here that were good in the past and kind of fell off. So, guys, y'all want to get on and talk about it. One thing I didn't do, I promise, is a tip.
You did. You gave a tip. You actually gave a tip.
What was it?
When you were playing the Ravens, there's something he was doing a lot of rollouts and play actions. But you actually said
you said quarterback spy. I wrote it down.
Yeah, like you didn't notice it, but you gave that tip right on out. And yo, my recorder is always on.
All right, that's good. All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One more thing, a lot of people.
It might be playoff implication on that. So.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One more thing too. A lot of people ask, how do you keep your feet in bounds? So when you're throwing to the sideline, how you do it? If you hold down A once you throw the ball, they'll do a toe tap.
Yeah. Anytime you pass the ball to one of your receivers,
write that down.
A 2-second pass.
Let me write that down.
You have the option to hit X for run after the catch.
Yep.
Y for aggressive catch, and A for possession catch. And if you possession catch near the sideline, if the guy has possession catch, he'll make an attempt and he'll usually be successful in doing it. But guys without possession catch, they might try it, but they might not do it early enough, or they might just run right out of bounds. You actually have to have it too to ensure that you're able to toe tap.
Yep.
So it's not always going to be successful just because you hit A. You got to look at the details for the players, the abilities that they have.
Okay.
And you can see whether they have in the building. Like in the last man, you were able to select that as something you can upgrade. But now it's kind of one of them things that they automatically upgrade for you when you upgrade it.
Yep. So fellas, it's not about me being the hashtag 41-0. But I definitely want to spread the love. I mean, I'm getting actually some lessons from other people outside. Hey, did you try this? Try that. If you ever want to lab with me, just hit me up. I love playing a head-to-head game. And when I play you, I'm actually working on different stuff myself. I don't care about losing it. I just want to work on my game. So I give out tips like this. This is actually tips that help me be hashtag 41-0.
Right. Until
somebody beats me, which I got a big game against the Rams next. So I'm not gonna talk so much trash. That's a huge game. It's a huge game. Reggie, I thought was going to be a big game, but he scared of Big Uncle, so it's all right. I know you watch it too. You mad to the bug. But yeah, I love this league. I'm gonna leave on this note. I was in another league, and I think I shared with Tranks and Hoshian. I was in another league where I was 10-4. The year before that, I didn't even make the playoffs. I was getting my butt kicked. Made some adjustments. I went 10-4. I think I had like one more game, or two more games, whatever, before the end of the season. And so I got hit up by the commissioner. Said I'm suspended for one game. I said, for what? I've never been in trouble in this league, nothing.
Right.
And one of the rules in this league was if you're not being pressured, you can't run outside the pocket with your quarterback. So I said, well, when did this happen? He said week 4. So
what?
Exactly. So I already told you I'm 10-4. Then they want to suspend me one game for running outside the pocket with one of my quarterbacks in week 4.
Man, you should have asked them, do you have footage? Like me and Trank say, do you have visual evidence of this happening?
Right.
If you don't, that's all hearsay.
So the issue is the Rams in this league. In that league, I'm the Seahawks. And I played the Rams. The Rams always beat me. In that game, I finally beat him. Beat him by 2. And he got mad. And so he went to the commissioner about it. There's no way that guy should have beat me. Long story short, it's up to me to either be in that kind of league or not. And what happened was it was a rule that was added on like week 3 or something like that.
Right.
I just told him, hey, fellas, God bless, take care. And I left the league because I think that's ridiculous. Even in real life, quarterbacks run outside the pocket when they're not being pressured. If they could try to get a better angle. I bring that up to say this is why I love FNG. Mm-hmm. We have rules in place. Yeah, we could question some of the rules and and maybe we could, make it better, but this is still by far the leagues I played in, one of the best ran leagues that's out there.
And the rules can be changed too.
Yes. Nobody owns the league.
Right.
Tony would tell you, yes, he's the triple OG of the league. But he'd be the first to tell you he don't own the league. If we go do something to make the league better, let's do it. So yeah, man.
Look, I got suspended. How's the league owner who owns everything? No, I got suspended. So I got to be held to the same standard of everybody else.
Hey, Steve, back. Hey, right. Hey, Steve, what's his name again?
Mr. Ass Vance.
Hey, what? This suspension probably hurt him the most, man. We talk about it every now and on the side, and he's like, you hit me hard, man, and you didn't realize how bad you hit me.
Yeah. People think it was something small, and they don't realize the little things you got to be able to do during the off season.
Yeah.
During the preseason, there's a lot of moves that I do to fill in the holes in my team I could not do. It's big. Yep. But, the moral of this story is it's a really well-run league.
That's the moral. What did you say? Really, is that the button, George? That was easy.
Man, you left that one open.
This is the moral of that story, though, is this is a league when you're in there, if you see a way to make things better, like anybody who has a better option for the trade, submit it. Because if it looks good enough, and if I think it's better, I'm gonna be like, hey, I think this will work even better. Let's vote on it. But even if I want it to happen, there's no guarantee it's going to happen unless the rest of the league, just like the real NFL, votes on it. Yeah, I can't just want something to happen and make it happen because, I was one of the original. No, that means nothing because we got other people who invest their time, invest their hard-earned time. Almost everybody married or got somebody special. And giving up your time to do a damn 2-hour podcast is big.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I appreciate you guys.
That's big.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys always asking questions and bringing things up. I mean, it was just funny that Osmond brought up the fact about additional trades, and I had just literally hit up Tranks about that, saying because I've been, and that's a compliment to all you guys, all the owners we got in the league now. Yeah. And you got me thinking, hey, maybe we should allow additional things because you guys are holding it down.
Yes, sir.
You guys are being committed, so it's a true testament to what you guys have brought to the table. So
yes, sir.
Big ups to you guys.
Yes, definitely.
So, hey, in the future, we're going to have some new things coming. We already got a lot of stuff, going on right now. We got the podcast. We got people stepping up like Stephen Billups and Tony Tillman making this beautiful trophy. I want to keep talking so y'all can see it. I want to bring it up every podcast until somebody takes it from me, but I doubt that. I'm gonna get another one like this. But no, I definitely appreciate y'all. Guys, we have 8 viewers right now. We had up to, I think, 13. If you stay on, I'm going to play the whole song, Dan's song to FNG. You can hear that. The guys that's on right now, if you can mute your mics, I appreciate it.
And, 1 minute. You now my #1 rated FNG player now, man. So
Why?
Go ahead of the Browns.
Why?
It's all love.
No, I don't want that. I don't want that. I'm number 2.
The Falcons are the #1 rated team in the NFC.
Nah, I'm cool.
Why? Wait. Cool. Why, Steve?
Because he bigger than I thought he was. So I see him in his muscle shirt and stuff. So
you scared of that?
I don't want him seeing me at Kroger's or not. I ranked him 4th in the league. So my bad.
What you say, punk? You #1.
Nah. All love, though.
Y'all silly, man. Hey, I appreciate y'all for jumping on, man. It's always a pleasure. We're going to rock out with this song real quick, and God bless. Gentlemen, if y'all can't stay on at the end, we'll do our thing. All right, y'all.
Take it easy, guys.
All right, y'all have a good one.
You too.
You too, man.
Raised in the jungle. All my life, yeah, I had to fight. FNG, let's go live tonight. You can't move on your own. Ouija moves, dancing in the end zone. Crush groove. All we do is get dubs. Hate to lose. We can do this all day. No snooze. Don't get it popping if you saying that you popping, dog. Never will I lose to a dude. Just won't happen, y'all. Call a deep pass. Watch flash. What you crying for? Gonna pass the six. Better yet, put them up quick. Hear them hating from the side. Twitch watch. I guess you say it's about time. TikTok. FNG, where we at? On top. Other leagues can't win. Flip flop. Born to be a champion. Raised in the jungle. All my life, yeah, I had to fight. FNG, let's go live tonight. I was born to be a champion.
Good job, Dan.
Raised in the jungle. All my life, yeah, I had to fight. FNG, let's go live tonight.
All right, fellas, we out. Y'all take care. God bless. Good luck for the rest of the season. Next couple of weeks, we'll probably have a podcast, maybe 2-3 weeks. But I appreciate everybody being on. God bless.
Yes, brother.